Your live. That used to be funny. Now it's just like conversational. You can be informed or seem to be informed and responsible when you meet another. You're like, you doing okay? Doing good? Surviving? Fighting the good fight? Cool. Go Walking Dead. Hi, I'm Elliot. If that's my name is Elliot, and I'm indescribable, much like you. Well, at least not in my entirety, entirely like you. It's a fine line. Engaging, uh, like this social re-engineering in these old, or rather inadequate uh, mediums. And I say that probably a lot in my videos, how wah wah I feel uh, connecting with you or community at large is through this window. And I'll keep saying it because if we don't say it, then it doesn't change. If you don't say it, then you might feel it. But what does it mean to say nothing about the feelings that we have? How much do we feel what we don't, but we're not able to not talk about? That's a little privy into my own um, journaling right now. My own like psycho pump romp into understanding. I don't mind sharing that a little bit. I'm experimenting further with my relationship between like a conscious choice resulting in or turning into action, and my desire being decoupled from an awareness and an emotional state. I don't want to be an empty shell of a feeling person. But does my heart need to race? Does my blood need to boil? So I need to feel, need those to be my, like the nervous responses of my physiology for it to feel that way. And I would argue that it doesn't. So, anyways, hi, my name is Elliot, and I don't have a lot of friends. It's true. I hate giving my own energy to shit that like doesn't like it's like alchemy, equivalent exchange. It's like full metal alchemist, but also just like the principles in alchemy. You cannot like create something with from nothing. And that rule just isn't as straightforward as it would seem, but that is magic. Nothing. It's like everything is literal. Nothing is as straightforward as it seems. It's either more or less. Oh gosh. Anyways, the radio, the TV, the people, I think it's so fucking ridiculous. Um, the global media response to uh, reality, and how easily and how little effort is still going into the person on a day-to-day basis to take responsibility for their life experience, like to take responsibility for um, their understanding for the world that they uh, must participate in creating by virtue of their understanding and their place in it. I also fucking, it annoys the shit out of me expressing myself in this medium because I am becoming more and more aware how clear I can be. And like, I'm like learning to be self forgiving. Like, what the fuck are you saying, Ellie? You make no sense. Like, hearing myself or whatever. Uh, but I've been writing more. And I'm like writing, I'm like, nah, man, I'm fucking wicked. Like, I make sense. And when I am been paying more attention to the fewer and fewer times that I'm able to communicate with someone um, without needing to filter how I say things so that it will be understood. Instead, I can live on the very edge of my own expression, just making shit up as I go along. Hi, my name is Delia. And without needing to, because filtering is not for understanding, filtering is for ahimsa. You know, it's like, I don't want to harm you. And I don't want to create a situation where you'll harm me. So I have to be careful about how I say what I say. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. It's not a hard, fast, circumstantial rule for creating understanding between people, but it is the state of the nation. And in speaking on broadcasting, like when commenting, sometimes uh, I'm barely watching actually other people right now, which is um, probably the case for you as well. Uh, but I can the level of my own clarity between like when I'm writing my comments, or I'm just noticing when resonance is insecure in the moment of the medium, that like my words turn into like because like knowledge is sacred, and ideas are weapons, and love and war is life. Meaning is what we decide, and part of the game is being uh, just cognizant of what you say, and who you say it to. It's like you don't give a knife to a toddler and then expect them not to like cut themselves or um, cut something that they shouldn't cut. or at least expect that, but don't get angry at them about it. 'Cause it's like, yo, what else did you expect? So I come on to this fucking thing because I want to connect with you, but you're not the only person that's going to come across this. And no judgment. I'm going to go ahead and actually just assume that everybody that comes across this is fucking awesome. But we're all different. And one color to an eye is like another color to another. So I might say something a certain way that's like perfect for you and me, and entirely a misrepresentation of meaning for another. And how do we supply that right vine for all of us? It's challenging by virtue of this medium, the internet as it is, as well as YouTube, and our expectations thereof, which is partly also why, like, with us, like me and you, we're still like, it's like, what's even happening right now? How is this even working? How are we really communicating? And so we're recreating it as we go. And so it's awesome. It's becoming more clear, but at the same time, when I start to talk about things with more clarity that like can be generally like related, I hear myself and I'm like, you're it's like there's a movie, like a cheesy movie with my man Ryan Reynolds, where he's a cop, R.I.P.D., or Rest in Peace Police, or something like that. Anyways, he dies and he comes back and he's like a spirit cop, and and whenever if he tries to tell anybody the truth, like it comes out he's talking crazy, and so that's what I feel like. It's like, so this virus thing is a blah, 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 and blah, blah, banana, shortcake, rum in my bum. What the fuck did I just say? I don't know, but it kind of sounded delicious, except for that last part. Really? Except for that last part? Like, that entirely was what I'm talking about. It's like, what did I just say? What did I just say? It doesn't matter if it was funny. So here I go, trying to say how ridiculous and overexposed people's like willful ignorance is throughout this whole thing. It's like, and how little let's see, holy shit, it's like how to not question what they feel like maybe they don't know that much about, if it means some false sense of social coherence and their part in it. Let's like speak with a little bit more like circumstantial examples. What's a virus? Do you know what a virus is? No one knows what a fucking virus is. First of all, nobody knows, like, virus, it's like human labels. It's a word to describe like parameters that we set around an expectation of like a like a closed system, but like not a closed system. It's like, is DNA alive? Is RNA alive? Do you know what any of those are? And then do you know what those are in relation to a virus? Most people don't. I'm not assuming, like, that's not neither here nor there. I'm not challenging even your own education, because if it doesn't matter as far as what it means and how you respond to it and making it like in world building your beautiful, loving like atmosphere, then it doesn't matter. But it's not questioning the ridiculousness of like not truth, and then letting that ridiculousness assert its limitations and imprisonment and suffering upon you or upon oneself. I touched on that, I think, in like another video before. It's like people already know what a fucking virus is, but it's like running around being like blah blah blah. But now it's getting like really, 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 really stupid. And what I want to focus on, or what I want to talk to somebody about, because like, come on, man, I just need to express myself. Does anybody just want to like call up a friend and be like, yo, this is so stupid? Did you know that there is a comet it's in like the vicinity of Mars orbit right now? Mars, if you didn't know, is the next planet over. All right, so pretty fucking close. And it's half the size of the sun, twice the size of Jupiter. It's on its way past here. Yeah. Pretty big fucking deal. Pretty big fucking deal. Half the size of the sun, twice the size of Jupiter. Jupiter and its size affects, like, the sun doesn't, like, Jupiter doesn't orbit around the sun as much as the Jupiter orbits the sun and the sun orbits Jupiter. But then, like, all planets are orbited by all the other planets from a frame of their own reference. So it's all just mental fuckery anyways. But that's a pretty big fucking deal. The like gravitational anomalies on Jupiter, gravitational anomalies of the sun, directly affect our life experience, our energetic electromagnetic experience here on this planet. I'm not going to go into examples because fuck it. It just they do. It's like cosmic rays. It's like plants get energy from the sun. Just extrapolate. It's like things affect things. The moon affects the tides, and extrapolate. So, like, if you put like a cordless phone, your home phone, base receptacle in like a beehive, like, you know, because you make honey, the bees won't find home. Like, you have like three. I'm just actually painting a picture of an experiment that's been done and repeated and whatever. It's, you know, where are all the bees going? Well, you put one of these things, for instance, its base at the bottom of a beehive, and give it, like, I don't know, a few days, a week, or whatever. Doesn't matter the span of time. It matters that it happens. And the beehives that don't have one of these in it are good to go. The one that does has no bees in it. So radio waves affect things. Our brains, our hearts have EEGs, ECGs, MRIs. You know, I'm just painting the picture of, like, things are not separate. Things affect things. And and things have been affecting things for a long time. It's like whenever there's this comet or whenever there's this like astronomical event, there's also volcanoes and earthquakes and things like that, which have been happening, like, ridiculously. And so now people are essentially having like there's like a global pandemic of allergies. It's a virus. What's a virus? And then, like, let's go further. So a virus is this living, non-living, whatever, man. Uh, like, what do you call it? Expression of life energy, life force, whatever. And its objective is to live. So I guess it's alive. I don't know, man. Its objective is to spread itself everywhere. So let's do a thought experiment. This any virus, it wants to live, and it's really good at it. So it effectively affects everything that it possibly can. Everything is affected by this virus. Does that mean everything is going to die? And if so, then why? What kind of virus wants to die? Like, what kind of virus wants to kill its host without using it as an opportunity to like multiply? What alive thing, what anything in nature only seeks to do that? And then when a virus isn't like bound in isolation, and so successfully spreads itself to a population that where it doesn't kill its host, what do we call that? If a virus achieves that without limiting its host, what do we call that? This isolating behavior, this behavior of having everybody isolate themselves from each other, not go outside, all of this is detrimental to everyone's health. It's detrimental to free information exchange, right? You can say however many people are dying, wherever they're dying, however many people are dying, when you're the one controlling the screens and everybody's in their own room, not looking and finding anybody else. You can't see that the world's not different. You can't see the symptoms. You know, before there were planes, there were airships. And they used just actually air pressure. So not hydrogen, not helium. So they didn't need to explode. But helium, hydrogen, you can commodify those things. After the Hindenburg explosion, which we have no real reason to have a strong point of relation except for the media that we've been given and grown up on, they were the coolest thing. They were used for transportation, but after that, everybody was afraid, and so they were like decommercialized in favor of the commodification and commercialization of airplanes. But there were plenty of explosions. Like Hindenburg wasn't the first or the last explosion of an airship. It wasn't the worst. And it wasn't even like the Titanic, where like the Hindenburg was like on its maiden voyage. And no, it was on like its like 63rd. It was on its manyth. But its explosion was televised. And further, the broadcast, like if you hear the guys like, the humanity, the burning. Oh, it's terrible. It's the worst thing ever. People are dying. Well, after that, people were like, fuck that. The humanity. What about these airplane things? And airplanes are just like wholly less efficient, wholly less like the technology that produces like lift and travel of airships. Like we could all have one at this point. Doesn't require mass industrialization. Can't easily be controlled because it's like you're controlling buoyancy. And then you're also creating like per use case of a consciousness being of like an element of physics of which they are a part. So now you're learning how airships and air pressure works. You're like, wow, I'm basically an airship, right? Like I'm a bag of gas. How does that relate to me? And then all of a sudden you can fly because you realize that you're the same. And you have people all realizing that they're way more than the like less than nothing that they went to school to learn. And that they were like socially rewarded to believe that we are worthless. It is only our things that and the price that we can set as our things that are expressions of our worth to each other. It's ridiculous. If I have one person tell me one more time, or think it, because it's like telepathy's a thing. I know what you're thinking. I used to like get myself down for being like, oh man, like they're not thinking that, Elliot. Believe in yourself. It's like, no, now I know I believe in myself. You're just all assholes. And you think so predictably. It's like, how do you know this, Elliot? You're saying all the doctors are liars? You're saying all these doctors are liars? I'm like, no, all the doctors are just stupid. They're invested in like in a system of education, which actually all education is fucking stupid. You're just teaching people to be dumb. There's no such thing as there's no fact that isn't history. And if you're not memorizing history, then everything else is cognition. Everything else is cognitive ability. Everything else is deductive, inductive, and retroductive reasoning. It's experimentation. It's mental emotional resilience. It's acrobatics. It's humor, right? It's confidence. It's trust. It's relationship. It's community. It's principles. And principle in application. You think doctors know anything? No, like doctors only know what they've been told. And better doctors are the ones that trust what what they've created, right? And question what doesn't work. But as a doctor, you've got this social esteem that can be pulled not just out from underneath you, but like with disgrace. It's like if you like have your if you do something that's like against doctors, uh, what doctors decree, it's not even just like it's like, oh no, we're gonna shun you. He's a weird doctor. He's a bit weirdo. Like, no, we're gonna take that away from you, and we're gonna shame you. We're gonna shame the shit out of you. So not only can you just not be a doctor, but you'll also be a not doctor that was shamed. Shame, shame, shame. And it's like that for anybody with insecurity, with social insecurity that's dependent on just like false constructs of reality, which makes sense, except that our like society has like built itself upon those weak struts. And it's amazing how much or like how relevant like intellectual insecurity is, and it's being exposed as such through this. I'm not going to call it a crisis. Through this like a media frenzy. I almost like I'm like learning to like emotionally disassociate. It's like because I don't want to feel like a fucking a nothing. It's like I don't get angry. I love you. I feel the passion, but I don't feel it. No, I want to like feel it all. I just don't want, I don't know, whatever. But I don't want to whatever, man. uh, it's like I don't mind getting more personal. Yeah, I guess it's just not going to happen on this video. I saw as I was hanging out with my grandpa. It's fucking wicked. Uh, and they had like this page up of like all the deaths or cases or blah blah blah. And I swear to God, like it was graphs and charts. It looked like the stock market. It looked like exactly like we were looking at like the stock market screen. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, first of all, fuck you. Fuck all of you. It's like you what do you got? Like you got someone at every hospital at this point, like with their little ticker, being like, code it 19, code it 19, yep. Yep. Tick, 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 tick. What are numbers at? Yeah. Confirmed. Tick, 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 tick. What does confirmation mean? It's like, I don't know, man. They're coughing. They're gonna die. It's like they're gonna die. No, it's probably gonna get like they have a fever, like flu-like symptoms. It's respiratory. It's like COVID. It's like, yeah, but like COVID's an actual thing. It's like, yeah. It's like saying it's like saying it's got a hair. It's got hair. Cool. It's expressed by like the spiky nature of like the virus of it's how it attaches and connects. It does like that's super common. It's a common expression of like virus. Right? It's like, yeah, but it's like it's so contagious. It's like it's so contagious. It's so contagious. It's killing people. It's like rally up all those numbers and then combine them and then multiply them. Just fucking multiply them. And then you don't tell me that people don't die every year from war, from poverty, from social constructs that we've all agreed upon and we don't give a fucking rat's ass about that shit. But you're gonna. But is this because this might get you? We don't know where it's gonna strike, and you might just be that victim. Oh, you must have never lost a job that you thought was secure. You must have never gotten in any kind of accident. Nothing bad ever happens to you from in a way that you never expect. So this just might. It's like such a fucking farce. Because also, FYI, like that's some people are immune, some people are not. Yeah, that's also just like the lottery. Everybody just picks a number. Doesn't matter what you eat. Doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you maintain yourself. Doesn't matter your relationship with yourself, with your environment. None of that matters. You basically, it's this. You just got to be in the same room as this virus, and then you might get it. So the most important thing that you could do is isolate yourself from other people. That makes no fucking sense. That makes no fucking sense. That makes no fucking sense at all. The best, most important thing that we can be doing is educating ourselves as to who we are, where we are, who's this affecting, like the people, not the numbers, how we're caring for each other, why this is a problem now and it wasn't a problem before, like contributing factors. It's like, yeah, people are dying. It's like, oh, like, you know what? If you strike a match in like in an old barn, an old dried out barn filled with like hay that's just like disused. It's like, oh, where are you going to put the garbage hay? Just throw it in the in the dry barn, and then you light a match. It's like, do we then think matches are nuclear bombs because it fucking set the old hay house barn on fire? No. But the world is force-fed sickness and death, and then like the wind blows a little bit and people start dying. It's like, oh, it's the wind. It's like, no, man, it's your cells. It's like the bear fucking gets it hunts, it eats, it stores, and then it hibernates and it survives. Now winter's fucking here, and y'all didn't do any of that shit, and you're dying. And then you blame winter? The bear doesn't blame winter. Not even the bear that doesn't make it. Just the bear's got its instincts. And when we don't listen to our own, like who else? Like it's like there is no God, there is no higher power. Like, not if you ignore it. When you do things that you know, like, don't feel right. And that's not a blame thing. Like, who knows when, like, how much that's like where that stems from. It's like, never mind. I won't get into that, but like another like good thing. I'm like reluctant to say like good things are happening because of this, because it's like, oh, that's all that's all like an algorithm needs to like be fed and heed. But what I know that we've created as an aspect of this is like, it's like if you can get over like the like false social dependencies, what I think a lot of people are experiencing, again, it takes having a certain perspective on like the stresses and that are being impressed upon. I don't want to lighten those or anything like that, because we all go through our own processes. But like everything's closed, so much shopping is not being done, so much busy work's not being done. Like the government is like swooping in and doing all this stuff with ease. It's like, why aren't you just being that good anyways? It's like, oh, because you don't have the people that would do all the bureaucracy to do it now because they're staying home. So now you're just gonna like push it through. And we're all happier for it. Like everyone's happier for it, but you can't do that normally because then you need jobs which aren't necessary, but you need busy people. Otherwise, in their freedom, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? I can't imagine a world that's where people are just, everyone's free. That would be like would not be anything less than more exponentially fucking amazing than this one. But it's like nothing. It's like, yep. Like tomorrow still comes. It's okay to sleep. And if you don't watch TV, you might forget that the world's not ending. In fact, if you don't just believe, I don't want to say what other people say. I mean, like, but the belief that the things don't make sense, you don't want to believe, so you can actually prove wrong, because intuitively you're like, I don't want to not believe true things. It's like, that's true, but I don't want to believe. It's like, oh, I won't believe because that doesn't feel right. It's like, turns out it isn't. If you don't believe, you should spend the time to not believe the things that you don't believe in. Wow. Maybe we don't need all the things that have closed down. Maybe we're not as dependent as the TV wants us to believe. Maybe. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to get something to eat. And I want to be around more. So I'm really grateful for you, because I, turns out, can't make videos, or I can't show up anywhere unless somebody's resonating with me. And that's my dream, to resonate with you. So thank you. You're lovely. I hope that you have a great COVID-19. I'm the worst. /best, the worst best. Like you and me. What up? Okay, 4413. I'm out. And I will see you again, because that's just how we do. Peace.